I got a shell for the homies. But they have a couple banjos, so when some of our players over in Connecticut do travel out, see that matchup a little bit more. But
Tyler's from up north.
Yeah, I was gonna say he definitely hasn't seen that.
Definitely haven't seen a banjo from up there.
You definitely have seen.
I've certainly seen Mars vs. Sharp a few times.
Yeah, whether it's at a local, a major, on Mars' stream, it doesn't matter. These guys play multiple times a week.
All the time, and interesting to see this matchup here. Sharp, of course, a man of many characters. We see Sharp play so many different characters over the years, in all the games, really, but especially in ult, he's really just started to play everyone. And we're seeing the Sheik here. This is Sharp's old Smash 4 main. Used to play Sheik and Diddy in that game. Certainly one of the characters we see the most from Sharp.
Especially as of recently, right? The last
we've seen more of the Sheik more often.
He's definitely moved away from the Joker, away from the ZSS.
And the Cloud as well.
Yeah, more to the Sheik. We do still see the ZSS come out, especially when he feels like, hey, I really want to win, my back's against the wall. But other than that, it really has been mostly the Sheik show for a little while now.
When just dodging the grab as well. These two know each other so well when we talk about how often they play, but this is...
And that's the ZSS 1, 2, 3, catching the DI in.
Yep.
And you find out Nair so much, but only on DI in, and that F-kill angle down sets up either a tech chase, or if you angle up away from it, right, sets up that continuation at those mid-percents. Mars so good at forcing you into weird checkmate situations in neutral.
Yeah, and Mars also just puts you in situations where it's like you have to determine whether you need to do combo DI or survival DI, and if you get it wrong, you die immediately. And that was an example of that there, you know, trying to DI for...
Put in a 50-50.
Yeah, you know, trying to DI for a back air. It turned out it was a neutral air, and then the neutral air converted into a kill. So we are still seeing the first stock for Mars here. Sheik. I know there are a lot of Sheik believers out there. I understand she's a good character a lot of the time, but the thing about her not being able to kill, that is real.
Well, it's not. And we just saw it there, right? You have poof, you have your smash attack. The big thing is she has to hit her confirms, or she has to edge guard you, right? She puts you off stage, she kills you at 60, 70. She finds her drag down up air, she can kill you at 100. At 80, 100, easy. She does more, it takes her more hits to get the same amount of damage, but she's capable of putting together crazy long stings, taking the control all she wants. The issue is in this matchup, she's trying to fight another character who wants to play an oppressive neutral game based on movement, but even though you fall out of ZS's moves, she just has to work less hard to give herself those opportunities. So even if you fall out of boost kick 2-3 times, you're still getting just as many opportunities as Sheik is per stock.
And also, we saw such an incredible recovery. We saw Sharp really in a situation where almost any other character would have died off stage early on that first stock. But Mars, even though he got hit out of the flip jump, still able to get back without really any trouble. And that's another thing in this matchup where you see Sheik put these characters, so many characters off stage in a situation where they just can't get back. ZSS can almost always get back.
If you manage your resources right, but Sheik also a character very capable of throwing out a neutral air, right? Very active hitbox needles and finding a way to interrupt those flip kicks. Find your way back to stage. Mars was going for on-stage downers. You will not see that from him except against players like Sharp, like Light, who he just knows. And he knows where they're going to be even more than normal. I love that boot flip kick back, right? Not stopping his momentum just to carry it forward. Again, keeping Sharp guessing. These are very non-traditional ZSS options, even for Mars. This is him playing players so much more than the matchup right now.
Absolutely. We see that so much from him in these situations. And it's kind of, in a situation where you loop back around on some options where they're just not that useful against most players. And then as players learn to deal with everything your character has, you start to use your less important tools in general because all of a sudden, that's the thing the opponent isn't prepared for.
And the jump in full momentum's there. They're super unsafe from Mars, but he doesn't care. He's just trying to keep Sharp guessing. Sharp is playing so defensive. Neutral air into the paralyzer. Mars is going crazy. Are you kidding right now?
That was a freestyle situation there for Mars.
Bro,
this is a rough spot for Sharp.
The hypest player in Ultimate for a reason, right? And that whole last stock just put it on display. Mars was like,
Mars is so good.
I have a read, and I have a read into a read into a read. Oh, your stock's gone. See ya. Like, what do you do there?
And that's what made Mars so strong as a player for so long. I remember seeing him even back in Smash 4. He used to have a Falcon in Smash 4. It was very good.
I remember. He has one in Ultimate, too.
I'm sure he does. But I remember seeing him in a situation where he really could have gone for basically any punish on something. And he went for a forward smash when his opponent was like 30%, just like reading some basic option. And I remember him saying after, if you have the read, punish it as hard as you can if you know what they're going to do.
And Sharp pulling out a character that Mars is very familiar with, right?
Yes.
Whether it's his own arc with character, whether it's playing Sharp, whether it's Genesis 7. Mars has played a lot of
Joker a few times.
that means so much on Hollow Bastion, a stage that kind of came out after Mars went full content mode. So, you know, we're going to see, right, how this age-old matchup adapts to a new era, a new opponent, but Mars up 1-0. Definitely slowed down, having to readjust to the new habits of a different character, and that is a trick that Sharp has up his sleeve that is something Mars has to adapt to, right? Is that Sharp plays all his characters very differently.
Yeah, and he plays so many characters at such a high level, you really never know what's coming next. I mean, you've seen basically any character with a sword, Sharp probably plays them, and then there are plenty others beyond that. We see the Sheik, we see the Diddy, Joker, only half of the sword.
Any character with a sword or any movement-based character that's not Greninja for some reason. I've never seen him play that one, but every other one he does play like the super movement-based characters. Beautiful, just dash across, grab Tomahawk into the Aegon. Just Sharp is locked and loaded, finds the first stock, and is playing super patient. I love these crouches, the way he's moving, forcing Mars to really get perfect timing on his falling Zers, which is still very predictable to even find the opening. Mars can't establish a pace of game, and it's forcing him to just commit so hard to even find a hit.
And that's also, as we do see Mars take the first stock of this game, but using the crouches and the down tilts to low profile things, it's super important against Zero Suit. Zero Suit notoriously struggles against shorter characters. A lot of her hardest matchups are characters like Pikachu, characters like Diddy. Characters that can just duck under everything, really be a nuisance for her and make it even harder for her to space her already very precise hitboxes. And Sharp's doing such a good job of that here with Joker, who, despite being full human size, acts like a small character.
And there we saw Mars, right, go for the instant fast fall. You saw the flash come out, but then air dodge. And ZSS is the only character in the game without a fast fall and air dodge. It actually, for some reason, cancels it. We saw the DI in there off the throw. Mars could have committed the flip kick, but just didn't go for it. A rare hesitation from him. Didn't give Sharp Arsene, sorry, I just speak. Gave him Arsene and a whole nother opportunity to get back, but that, as quick as backup is here, right, it is gone. Mars just chipped it away.
Yeah, one more chance here with the Arsene, and he loses it right away with the air into his air. That was really well played by Mars, getting that opening and just not letting Sharp breathe.
And then the single crouch at ledge, too. Like, Mars, even in a dead-even game, is feeling himself and knows flip kick, just bounce on your head, send you to the blast zone. That's all she wrote. Who needs friendship when you can turbo T-back?
Sharp certainly keeping this one more competitive here. This is a very close game after the Sheik really struggled to get the kills in game one. But this is where things can really turn on Joker, and what Mars is so good at, playing around that Arsene meter. You know, here you're in a situation where Joker's kill power is not that impressive. And he's really going to need a setup like that. He got the fair one, but he was fading back. Not a lot he can really get off that.
And remember, too, that the Arsene that Mars beat, right? The Joker that Mars beat to win Genesis 7 was a stronger version of this character. It was just pre-nerfs, if I'm remembering the timeline correctly, which meant that Arsene
didn't get that hard, though.
Right, it didn't actually go down when you hit Joker before the nerfs.
Well, it always technically did. It just didn't, it wasn't a noticeable amount.
It wasn't, exactly. And so now it's like Mars can actually fight you and beat your Arsene. He doesn't just have to run for 3 minutes, but it's something ZSS does excel at.
Yeah, ZSS is really good at that too.
And you just like suddenly like, oh wait, I can scrap? Cool. And what was just an even game or even slightly Sharp favorite at the beginning is something that Mars has just gotten the download on fast.
And Mars certainly in control here towards the end of this game too, but we are on last stock. You never know with a character like Joker. Gonna be tough for him to survive long enough to build up another Arsene.
And going for a fair one back air, they're not gonna find his mark. Full commit. We haven't seen that with the Plasma Whip. He's been opting more for the ledge jumps. Jab 1 and 2, even though that's a frame 1 button, and because of the max spacing, it gave Sharp the opportunity for his own button to come out. These empty hops at ledge, though, he's keeping Sharp guessing. Sharp hasn't been able to get a lead on when he's going to ledge trap, when he's going to fade back and just catch the option after ledge or something for stage control. And that is now the third time that this set that Mars has flip jumped from ledge and gotten the ground spike into the kill for it.
And yeah, it's really important because Sharp had just gotten Arsene back. Certainly could have been a really threatening situation. Mars was absolutely at kill percent for the Arsene kill confirms there. And he'll run it right back to Hollow Bastion. We'll see if we get the same character.
Yeah, and the reason that flip jump keeps working is because of how varied, right, Mars is with his, whether it's Plasma Whip to ledge trap or going all the way out for the edge guard or the empty jumps above ledge or his theirs, right? It's so hard to know that he's just going to commit to immediate flip jump, hold in there, because everything else he does is just so different. You have to cover as many options as possible, and right now that's just, for Sharp, that just hasn't been able to be that flip jump.
Yeah, and at that point, you know, it's an option that you always know if you know the Zero Suit matchup. You know to expect it at some point. But you fight someone like as good at Mars as mixing up everything all the time. He moves so quickly, just goes through so many different options.
Oh my god.
It's so hard to remember the basic stuff.
They were just standing there taking turns crouching while the other one swung. Right, fighting under this platform. You're seeing the slowdown as they both flail their little legs at each other, swinging those forward airs, trying to find the down tilt and just keep the pressure going. The paralyzer into the rolled feed. Mars has been here before. Nothing will get by this man, and the boost kick to punish. That whole sequence was insane, Winters.
That was a really beautiful edgeguard sequence from Mars, and now he's in control here, up 2-0. Mars looking to get into grands here.
And the up tilt
reads the counter as well.
He was trying to put him on the platform, but good DI from Sharp to avoid it. Instead, it's Mars who gets caught up there. I love the just dash off to find that little bit of extra space to then find the back air to boot. That being said, Sharp has realized that the key to beating Mars is maybe just push less buttons, right? When he stood still, Mars is trying to get these reads, and once he whiffs them, a lot of his buttons, while really safe and really agile and great for reads, if you miss them, there's a good punish window in there for Joker, and that's what's allowing Sharp to find his way back in, is just this renewed sense of patience.
And he gets quite a bit of damage off this Arsene before it goes away as well. Obviously not going to get a kill, but has certainly evened this game back up to a degree and avoids that flip jump chase there. And this is now, you know, Mars had a commanding lead at the start, certainly still in the lead, but this is a lot closer now, and if Sharp's able to get under Arsene on this stock, we'll be all set.
And these random paralyzers from Mars, even when you're at mid-range, right, are such a good conditioning tool, because they will force you to not want too grounded approach, or when they just come out empty, Sharp is going to say, hey, okay, he did that, he's going away from that, he's not going to just keep doing it, and Mars can get the next level read of, yeah, I'm just going to do the same broken thing twice, just like we saw Unleashed win a set with just moments ago.
And that's also, you know, that Joker down tilt will go under Paralyzer from some ranges. It'll go under a lot of ZSS aerial buttons. And the down smash from that range just calls it out perfectly. And Mars, even though he is not in as commanding of a lead as before, certainly in a good position to close the set out.
Commander, put your phasers to stun because we have a Metroid invasion and his name is Joker. As he tries to get back, the F-smash just missing. I understand now why Mars says this character sucks. He certainly never makes it look like it, but then every once in a while, this character just misses.
This character's broken. She just doesn't work sometimes.
Sometimes.
I'm a brawl player. I'm used to this. All our top tiers are like that.
Mars dashing back and forth, just not willing to commit and making you start guessing, and the classic to put the exclamation point on the send.
Oh, man.
It doesn't matter, right? You see the flip kicks, you see the booster reads, you see, it doesn't matter, right? At the end of the day, Mars is known for one thing, and it's lining up those down airs like nobody else in the business. And it doesn't matter. He can be gone for a year, 2 years, content mode. It does not matter.
We know what to expect when he comes back. Absolutely.
Yeah, and let's be real. If he was going to hit it against one person in this bracket, it was going to be his homie.
Yep.
And Sharp, you know that Sharp is not going to hear it at the end of that one for the rest of the week.
Of course.
Like, they're going to be playing, like, friendlies on, like, Tuesday, and he's going to be like, hey, how do you get hit by that, man? And Sharp's going to be like, man, I just want to go see Spider-Man. I want to get Wendy's. Like, you know, right?
Yep.
Mars is famous on his streams for saying, don't let it be you. And at the end there, you know,
it's hard not to let it be you when you fight Mars.
Right.
You know,
he's so
he's
good
a
at
good player. And he
plays
just